YouTube, what's up, guys? How you doing? Chris Rod with Sun City Lawn Care here in West Texas, El Paso, Texas, to be more specific. Today, quick little video, but I got to touch base on this because this is one of the most common questions or during a consultation with potential clients that we have a discussion about. And it's springtime. It's getting up to, some warmer temperatures. And so that question always is, how much do I water and how often do I mow? All right, so before we dive into these two topics of, again, how often should I water and how often should I mow my lawn, I gotta talk about this. Check this mower out. I swear, I've got Lawn Boy, 2 Honda HRNs, and I've got a Toro in the garage. The Toro has been the worst by far because when I got it out of the box, I used it once and it didn't start again for God knows how long. And then I got it to start, and I used it one more time, and I have not been able to get the damn thing to start since then. So anyways, I had to go get another HRN, a Honda HRN, but I had a client who is relocating, and the other day we're done mowing, we're about to depart, and he asked me if I want his mower. Of course, I told him no. I told him I would buy it from him, in which I am. Actually, we're going to be bartering for it because he's a routine client. We visit every week, but his monthly is right about the cost of one of these mowers. So we got a Honda HRX 217. These are great mowers. Honda doesn't even make lawn mowers anymore. So it's going to be the first time I'm using it in this particular backyard. Now, the reason why I like this HRX 217 as compared to the HRNs, this one gets about, if I'm not mistaken, a ½ inch lower. It drops down, guys. So as you guys can see, our lawn back here, we got a hybrid Bermuda lawn. Don't ask me what kind of hybrid. I couldn't tell you. It was here when I got the house. And this is going back to the original 2 questions. So again, the original 2 questions is how often should I mow and how often should I water? Well, let's talk about the first one. How often should I mow? You should mow as often as you can, or as often as your lawn is growing. No, that's the wrong answer. It's as often as you can. We recommend at least once a week in the lawn care industry. That's best industry lawn care practices. Once a week, get out there and mow your yard. Even if it does not look like it needs to be mowed, guys. I know, I got nothing but weeds. The grass isn't growing. The idea behind this is to create a habit, a very good habit. To me, if I do finances on the side as well. It's like your savings account. You create a good savings habit and you auto-populate those funds into your savings account, right? Well, with the lawn, we want to auto-populate a good habit of mowing our yard. It is the best thing you could ever do for your lawn. Now, my lawn has been neglected this past week because we have 2 new employees. Well, they're not new. They've been with me for a bit. But we're getting them used to the route and whatnot, and I have not mowed it this week, which is entirely unacceptable. Okay, it is the weekend, it's part of the week. Usually I mow this yard either 2 to 3 times per week. But what we're doing when we do that is we get out here and we create that positive, that good habit. And moreover, when you mow it, let me see if I can find some for you real quick. When you mow it and you edge it as frequent as possible, you create a thick, dense turf. When you edge it, see this guy right here? All of these guys right here. Those are Bermuda grass stolons, and they're growing on my pool deck. I don't want them on the pool deck. I want them in the turf. I want to redirect that energy and grow it back into the turf to thicken that puppy up, okay? My 3-year-old was out here the other day, and she loves the garden. She loves picking the flowers, looking at the different colors. And she came into the lawn, and she asked me, "What are these, Dad?" And so I had to explain to my 3-year-old that these are Bermuda grass seed heads, and they are emerging, okay? Very identifiable. It's got the 3 little seed heads popping up there. If you start to see 3, usually they're 4. If you got one that's coming off of the main stem, so you got the 4 here, you got another one coming off this main stem, that's not Bermuda grass seed head. That's a whole nother weed. But anyways, the point is that the Bermuda is popping up little seed heads, and typically what that is an indication of, it's a stress period. So the grass thinks it's under either a cold front stress or a heat stress. Something's going on with it, and so it's trying to protect itself, and so it reproduces, but it's not to be concerned. So how often should you mow? Well, you don't want to see the grass seed heads, you don't want to see the stolons, so you need to get out here and create that habit of just mow it as often as possible. I hope that answers that first question. YouTube, welcome back. Day number 2, part number 2 of this particular video. And again, just to touch base, yesterday we were talking about mowing, how often you should mow. Today we're talking about part number 2 of this video, is how much to water, how often to water, right? So as you guys can see, I've got 2 little measuring devices here. I've got my chicken tuna light chicken of the sea can, and we've got water in there already because I just got through letting my system run for 30 minutes straight. Okay, that can I've strategically placed in one of the yellow spots that I have throughout the lawn there. And I've got my gnome. This is my old lady's idea. Because I put the tuna can. She's like, what are you doing? It's like, why don't you just use the gnome? I was like, all right, I'll use the gnome. So we got the gnome out, and we're almost at 1 inch here. So we got 2 little measuring devices. Use what you got, or if you happen to have a tuna cans are 1 inch in height. This chicken light can is 1.5 inches in height. So when we're doing this, we're basically testing our water output and how long to run our irrigation system. This is a method to the madness. You can put these items, the cans or a gnome or whatever, rainfall cups that you guys may have from Amazon, wherever, throughout the lawn. You can put them close to the sprinkler heads. You can put them further away from the sprinkler heads. Ideally, you want to place them different spots to, measure different outputs at different distances. Those 2 spots right there, I have selected because we always have some sort of chlorosis right in that area. Now, because they're circular, it does indicate some sort of pattern of something else going on other than watering. If you're standing next to an irrigation head or a sprinkler head and you experience some sort of 180-degree pattern of chlorosis, more than likely it's an irrigation issue. But because those 2 spots are circular, it's kind of doubtful. But either way, I put them there just for show today, and I ran it for 30 minutes, and the can is about halfway. It's a little less than halfway filled up, and we're almost at the 1 inch mark on the gnome there. And the method to the madness again is just let your system run until you get to the desired height of your measuring device, whether it be 1 inch or 1.5 inches, okay? And then you'll have the total number of minutes it took to fill up either option, okay? So what does this mean? I'm gonna go ahead and let this system run for another 30 minutes, an additional 30 minutes. We're gonna go for a full hour and see how much water we get. And then we're gonna simply divide that time that it took to fill up either to the 1 inch or the 1.5 inch or the tuna can at 1 inch by 3 days of deep watering in the mornings only. So for example, if it takes me another 30 minutes, that's going to be 1 hour to fill these particular measuring devices up. Divided by 3 days, that gives me 20 minutes, 3 days a week, mornings only. That will give me what we mathematically call proper watering inch to an inch and a half of water per week. That is the rule of thumb with lawn care. Typically, if you do any kind of studying or you read your collegiate studies, it's going to say the same thing. Trees, shrubs, lawns, garden beds all require an inch to an inch and a half per week. Now, when we start talking about trees, fruit trees, it can change. Your bigger trees, depending on the caliber size, usually a base rate is like 10 gallons for every inch in caliber per week. But we're talking about lawn care, guys. I'm going to go ahead and run this 30 minutes and show you the results, and then we'll finalize the video today. All right, y'all, it's been about 7 more minutes. Not about, actually, it's been exactly 7 minutes. And lo and behold, let me get my gnome in here. See if you guys see that water line. We're exactly at 1 inch at 37 minutes in this particular spot. So we're gonna keep running it. We're gonna let it go some more until I can determine how long it takes to fill up that 1.5 inch tuna can. All right, guys, that was another 30 minutes of watering. And let's see where we're at right now. Woo, we're getting there. I'd say that's probably about 1 inch right there for sure. We got another half, almost a little less than half an inch to go on that tuna can, that chicken can. And right here, where are we at on the gnome? I don't know if y'all can see that, zooming in. That's pushing, that is dang close to 1.5 inches right there, just shy of it. So we're gonna run it another 30 minutes. We're gonna keep going until we get our full 1.5 inches. I wanna know what our output is. And the thing about this, guys, you can do this on a watering day. You can do it on an off watering day. I recommend you do it on a watering day. And definitely early morning. Obviously, we got full sun. We are out here relaxing by the pool. We're just, this is a water test. We're just going to kind of finalize. Do this throughout your irrigation system on different parts of the yard. Everybody's system is going to be different. And moreover, depending on your water pressure, whether you're way out in the desert, in the city, running off a well, not running off a well, it's all gonna be variant. So just test it out. Let's keep going. Guys, what's up? So we ran the system 2 cycles, 30 minutes each, and I was on my 3rd round of 30 minutes each, additional watering, because I wanted to push this can to see how far we get it to the 1.5 inch height. And I ran it for another 7 minutes. I just cut it off with 9 minutes to spare. So I get, and that's filled to the brim, guys, right where that lid would close if it was there. And then we had a party foul over here. This guy just had too much dang water and he tipped over. Just kidding, just kidding. It was just shy of 2 inches, but my dog just came out in the lawn right now and knocked the damn thing over. So I'm sorry. A little bit of water, just shy of 2 inches on that one. Different areas, different measurements. One side got 1.5 inches, almost got 2 inches on the gnome there. So let's do the math real quick. It ran for 1 hour and 7 minutes, okay? 67 minutes in total. That's a lot of water, okay, to get 1.5 inches. That's an hour. What did I say it was? 1 hour and 7 minutes, right? 67 minutes to get 1.5 inches. That's something you want to put in your brain housing group or make a note of. So when we're pushing that summer heat and you want to give it some extra water, I know for a week, if I want to get 1.5 inches, I need to run my system for 1 hour and 7 minutes for the week. I'm going to divide that by 3 days, okay? So we could go, 1 hour and 7 minutes, an hour, if you want to make your math simple. I'm not going to come out here and I'm not going to. My timing box will program it for me, but 1 hour and 7 minutes divided by 3 days is going to give me essentially 22.5 minutes. 22.5 minutes, guys, something of that nature. You want to keep your math simple. Just round it to 1 hour. Divided by 3 days, that's 20 minutes, 20 minutes, 20 minutes, 20, 40, 60. That's 1 hour, 3 days a week. Do you get how we do this? So I know if I run this system for long enough, I'm gonna get a good 1.5 inches. Now it's not the heat of the summer. We're 80s right now. I think I didn't even check the weather today, so I could probably just keep it at 1 inch. So take it from that hour and 7 minutes and just drop it down, either by, get rid of 1/4 of the time frame there. I hope that's explanatory. I just want to give you guys a couple examples of how to do this. Now, I just watered in one day 1.5 inches. So then begs the question, well, what if we get rain 2 inches, 3 inches, 8 inches? Do I still need to water? No. Turn that irrigation system off and conserve a little bit of water, guys, which is what we're going to do. I'm not going to run this system, especially this main lawn area. I've got another zone here. I got another zone behind me, and I've got my raised flower beds over here. Those are other zones. We'll still need to water those, but this main 1,000 square feet or less than 1,000 square feet, I'm just going to shut the system off. You guys got some forecasts coming through. Just turn that irrigation system off. Now, I run a 𝘏𝙊𝙉𝘼𝘾𝙏 system, so it's actually got a barometric pressure and sensor inside of it. So if we get any high winds or rain forecasted, it's going to turn the system off and put it on a 24-hour, 48-hour delay. I don't think I've ever seen a 72-hour, but either way, all said and done, do the tuna can challenge, do the gnome challenge, whatever you guys want to do, but get out there, run your system, and you don't actually have to run it for the hour and 7 minutes I did. If your tuna can is 1 inch and you fill it up halfway after 15 minutes, okay, 30 minutes will give you a full inch. You don't have to do that sort of thing. I'm just giving you guys an example of what to do. This could also be an example of what not to do. We're just trying to solve some chlorosis issues. We know it's not watering because my this actual third zone that I have, the orbit, based on the amount of sprinkler systems I have, the soil type that we have, previous water conditions, it runs for 26 minutes per watering cycle. It'll do 13 minutes here, it'll do like a 7-minute there, a 5 here, a 10 over there, and then it comes back and does the remaining 13 minutes. So 26 minutes plus 26 minutes, that's going to give me 52 minutes, and then that's going to give me my full inch. In other words, for a third day, it would be an additional 26. So we're already 42. Oh God, what is that? 118 minutes or something? Might be more. I do my maths all over the place. Let's not be confusing. Keep it simple. Test your irrigation output, run your system, do some measuring, get out there. And if you guys have any questions, leave a comment below and I will try to answer them as soon as I can, as fast as I can, and as accurately as possible. You guys, check you later.